Hello, I'm Greg Jarrett. An Islamic attack in the heart of Paris. Three armed terrorists forced their way into the headquarters of a French magazine, murdering at least 12, injuring many others. One worker who managed to survive said the identified gunmen said they were Al-Qaeda. The Islamic terrorists escaped. They're still at large at this hour. Joining us now to talk about it, Qassam Rashid of the Ahmadiyya Muslim USA Community. Thank you very much for being with us, Qassam. Your reaction to today's events?
Thanks for having me, Greg. My reaction is what every Muslim, every human being is feeling right now. Remorse at the horrible loss of life, absolute condemnation without a doubt. This extremism, this terrorism is a common enemy to all people, regardless of race, color, or creed. As a member of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community, we condemn this attack. We have a chapter in France. We are international in scope. So we are united internationally in mourning and praying for the victims while categorically condemning horrible attacks.
Do you think more Muslims in the Muslim American community need to speak up and, like you, condemn this kind of attack?
I think Muslims are doing a very good job of speaking up, and I think there's an important conversation to be had about recognizing that this is not an Islamic act of terror. This is just an act of terror done by people claiming to ascribe to Islam. When we study Islam, we see clearly that the Quran condemns this kind of violence categorically. That Prophet Muhammad said that a Muslim is one from whom all others are safe. So what these individuals have done, this inhumane, barbaric act, represents only themselves and their own vain desires. And I, for one, commend Muslims around the world. I can commend non-Muslims around the world for recognizing that this is an act of terror that we as humanity must stay united to combat.
If, as you say, the Quran condemns this kind of violence, why is it that these Islamic extremists, these terrorists, use the Quran as justification for committing these kinds of violent acts?
Well, it's the same reason why any extremist group uses scripture. There's no shortage of extremists in every faith. Let's not forget the Lord's Resistance Army, the Ugandan terrorist group that claims to be Christian. And I would vehemently argue against anyone who would blame the Bible or Jesus Christ for their acts of terrorism. This is not about religion. This is about political power. This is about uneducated, ignorant youth who are being manipulated by clerics and extremists. And this is why it's all the more important for us as a moderate, regardless of faith, to stay united and combat this. Now, I'm part of an international movement called Stop the Crisis, where we go to different universities around America, Canada, United Kingdom, and have these conversations in a very candid and open environment where people can ask these tough questions, these important questions, much like the ones you're asking right now. Because until we can have this dialogue, we're going to continue to misunderstand and fear one another, and that is exactly what extremism needs to grow.
Qassam, when you engage in this kind of dialogue with Muslims, as you've described, what kind of reaction do you get?
Well, it's a mixed bunch, but by and large, we get a positive reaction. We get affirmation from our fellow Americans, from our fellow Europeans, from our fellow human family, that in fact we have much in common. Every group has extremists, has terrorists, and that's why when we get together and break bread or have a conversation or serve humanity together, we realize that it's in fact these extremists of all stripes that share something in common, and it's the rest of humanity, the vast majority of humanity, that share these common goals of creating a better future for our children. You know, my son turned 6 today. You better believe that I want a society for him where he can grow up and be safe from extremism, but also be safe from being discriminated against because of his faith.
Qassam Rashid of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community USA, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
And for more on this top story, check out our stories on foxnews.com. I'm Greg Jarrett. Thanks for watching.